Hello, lovely people. Thanks for joining me for a few minutes. I'm excited to say Happy New Year, and I'm in front of this beautiful sequin luscious experience that I wanted for over a year, and I just never quite put the pedal to the metal, and it makes me really happy, and that inner glam part of me just gets to shine behind me, and it brings me joy. So I hope that you also enjoy a little sparkle in your day. So I just want to take a deep breath together before I launch into stuff, right? So take a moment, close your eyes, and breathe wherever you are. Just notice what it's like to be in your body in this moment. If it's wiggly or tight, if there's a point of stillness, just notice without judgment, almost like things are lighting up inside of you. And I invite you to put that attention on your heart and breathe into your heart space for a moment. Feel it expand and contract. Notice if there's an image that opens up for you or a color. And whatever color comes to mind, just really bathe in it for a moment. Allow it to get bigger than your heart and support you, to hold you, to love on you. Whatever color comes up, just let it be. It's right in this moment. And in the middle of that color, feel what it's like to let it seep into your heart, to hold that light, that space for you. And maybe there's a word that comes up. Notice what it's like to give yourself what you need right now. Whatever that word is, whatever that color is, just trust it in this moment that there's a gift for you. And take one more deep breath. And when you feel ready, maybe rub your fingers on your thighs, just noticing what it's like to come back into this body, this place, and this time. So my word just now was joy. And I think it's because of the sparkle. Sparkle brings me a lot of joy. And that leads me to what I want to share with you today. So a couple of things. One is I did this beautiful workshop on the day before, on New Year's Eve day, so the last day of the year, and it was so much fun to share this experience with people. And I say fun even though we were dealing with the topic of clearing out, because I just take so much pleasure and honor in being able to be there for people's big emotions. And there was a lot in the room, and there was a lot that people were wanting to let go of. And we did this beautiful ceremony, and we were playing with the idea of fire, connecting to your inner fire. And we did some writing and some movement, and some journey work. And then at the end, we did this beautiful despacho, which is a flower ceremony that my Peruvian teacher shared with me. And we played with just white flowers, which was really unusual. Most of the time there's white and red, and it's a balance between the masculine and the feminine. And I was getting all these messages before ceremony about letting things die, letting things go, and just noticing that my expectations had to shift to be able to hold space for that day. And the beauty that showed up with that full group in ceremony was so amazing. And so, you know, there were tears and laughter and lots of connection with strangers, which I think is super beautiful. And in that work, in that release, the next day we took the prayers to the fire and did this wonderful fire ceremony, and burned the prayers and let them go. And there was this one piece that didn't burn, and it took a long time, and we kind of poked at it and put it deeper into the coals. And it just made me really reflect on, like, what is that one piece deep inside that doesn't feel like we're ready to let go. So if you want to play with that idea, journal about it, check in with yourself. What's that piece that's in you that is still wanting a little bit more fire, a little bit more freedom? Yeah. So, the part that I want to share is the alignment, both for myself and the people in the workshop, of ending the year and starting the year with ceremony. It just made me so happy. And I've been playing with this idea of like how to bring more ceremony into my life and with my clients and friends and people I love. And so part of what has come through this year is I took this class. It's going to sound like there's a disconnect, but stay with me. With my coach about visual branding and getting the outside to match the inside. So having our visual expression be in line with our soul, with who we are, with what we're here for, and what we're doing in the world, what our work is. And so I've created this beautiful package because I had this moment where I realized I was doing the fingerprint analysis work with some folks and getting really into their soul DNA and the patterns and the things that we're here for and learning about that's like given to us before we're even born. Like our fingerprints are formed in utero between 12 to 14 weeks, and they contain our life purpose and our life lesson and our life school, the things we keep working on over and over again. And it's in here before we even come into full being. And so I've been doing that work, and then this other work of this soul aligned branding a person based on who they are and what they're here for versus branding a business. We do brand your business, but it's because of a personal evolution. It's because of who you are and what will always be true for you. So the beauty is you don't have to rebrand every year or two because, oh, you have a new idea or you want to start a new group. We get down into the heart of the mood board, the color palette, using this beautiful brand anchors exercise to really align with your soul. So you'll notice I use the word soul a lot. One of my brand anchor words is sacred. And so there's a lot of work that I do about owning my own sacredness, honoring the sacredness in other people, creating everyday sacred experiences, whether that's listening to my intuition in the grocery store about what to buy that day, or doing a full-fledged fire ceremony, going up on a mountain, all of that, just listening to that sacred alignment. So the reason I'm sharing this is because we've been doing these two pieces separately, and I just had this click of like, oh my gosh, this needs to come together. So I've started to take people through both. So we do the fingerprint analysis and the soul aligned branding, and it's this beautiful experience of joining together who you are and who you're meant to be. So I just like, what? I'm so excited. So I've created this page where I'm going to share this information with you with all the details, how many calls, how much it costs, what's involved, all of that. But I want to share with you an experience because I just got off the phone with a client a few minutes ago, and she was like, oh my God, this is so worth what I paid for, and honestly 10 times that. And I was so excited because in marketing copy, that's something they tell you is whatever you price it at, you need to over deliver as a practitioner. You need to give your clients everything you've got. And what I love about this work is that it's really tuned into something that's so much deeper and more full and honoring of who you are, that creates a life-changing transformation for you to go into your work instead of filling out a freaking worksheet. All right? Anybody else? Amen on that. I filled out so many worksheets and I spun so much in my head trying to figure out my branding and my colors and whatever. This is actually one of my colors, which is part of why I love it so much. It's this blush, and then add glitter to anything and I'm a happy duck. But so this person I was working with, we were tuning into, one of her words was abundance. And it wasn't just the word abundant in the way that we all think of it. Her image that represented it was this beautiful, lush garden. So there were all these colors and all these different pieces, and the light and the dark, and the way that it was growing up through the forest was just gorgeous. And so we were talking about how to honor that abundance in the work that she does and how that shows up and how she gives to other people, and also the way that that's read in a visual component. So we were tuning into the color, and capturing the light was really important to her. And I love that there's often like a theme with all of my clients around light and sacred experiences, even if that's not the lens or direction they come from, because that's my word and that's something that I hold. I tend to work with people who are exploring it in some way or another. And so as we were doing this work, there was this unfolding for her of her words became more and more important. And so I'm so excited for these anchors to start to show up, because her website is going to shift, her social media, all of the things that are this external, this is what I show to the world, because now it's aligned with who she is. And the beauty of that being, we don't have to hide, we don't have to overcomplicate things, we don't have to be concerned about the content we're putting out, because it's coming from a place of truth. So the ease, the blossoming, the unfolding starts to happen, and it's gorgeous. So anyway, so there are these pieces that I'm building. Is we've got the fingerprint analysis to get into your soul DNA. We've got the branding component to honor the visual representation of you and your work and your business. Then I'm adding in this coaching and healing part to be able to work through the emotional and energetic blocks. And then ending with ceremony, the thing that I started talking about, doing a business blessing ceremony, doing a rite of passage, honoring and holding space for people in their launch, in their transition, in their blossoming. So whether you're going through a rebrand in your work, or it's something that you just want to play with, like you got an idea and you want to start from the beginning with like really professional representation, this package is a great place to start. So anyway, I'm going to put all the details out there. And before I go, there was something else that I wanted to say. I have this other client who we just finished the branding work as well. And she was like, oh my God, it was so much fun. Like that's the part I keep hearing, is it's just so much fun, because it's really tuning in to parts of you that are here, that want to be honored, the playfulness, the exuberance, and they just need some permission. So that's the space that I hold for folks. So if you have any questions, I'll do a free complimentary, that's the same word, it's totally fine. It just zipped in my brain. Call to jump on together to talk about what you need in your work and how I can support you to make sure that this process is something that's going to serve you. So yeah, so sign up if you're ready, and also reach out if you have questions. The main thing I want to say is that when we leave this process, you walk away with the tangible components of your fingerprint analysis, the visual mood board, color palette, brand anchors, words, so that you can take that to a designer and say, here are the hex codes, here are the specific orange that I want, here's the blue, here's the gray, how can we incorporate and play with this? You can play with it yourself, because part of it is a training in how to use some of the online software to be able to do it yourself. So it's real fun. That's what I have to say. Okay. So the last piece was this other person I was working with, was one of their words is raw. And raw, like in a like melty, tearing, like really intense way. And we were talking about how part of the impression they want their clients to have when they go to their website is they want it to be a little intimidating. And I love that, because she's being true to who she is. She's not trying to be fluffy and welcoming and cute. She's being honest. And part of what she wants is her clients to know that when they sign up to work with her, this is going to take you somewhere and there's no bullshit in the way. So we were getting into the colors and the tearing and that component of realness that you would get from working with her. So it's just beautiful to see that that part of her is coming out more and more. So this is really for people who are looking to move through whatever is in the way, whether that's personal or professional blocks. And I do this because there's an extraction process in the shamanic space of moving what is in there that might not even be yours, that's just getting in the way. So if you also are in a personal space where you need some healing work and some of that extra love, we do that remotely as well, so through the phone, and can talk that way, because the energy is so present, and I use the tools that I have around me, and we can light candles together on either side. So that's what I've got for you today. I've been sitting on this for months because I was just waiting for the right time, but I really believe in divine timing. So if you've gotten this far in the video, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. And I just want to breathe one more time together before we go. Ready? So take a breath, shake it out, and always connecting with the body, right? So rolling your shoulders back, noticing what that feels like, rolling them forward, touching your heart, and just knowing that you deserve all of the love, all of the peace, all of the beauty, and all of the joy. And I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle in there. Yeah, so that's what I've got for you today. Happy, happy, happy New Year. And I'm excited to see where we all go from here. Bye.